Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep! Today, as promised, we are covering the topic on how Kawaki has a karma mark in the future if Isshiki Otsutsuki died in chapter 53. In our Boruto chapter 53 analysis video, we asked for 25,000 likes if you are interested in this topic, and you guys absolutely smashed it with ease. So here we are fulfilling our promise on covering this topic, and if you are confused and haven't read Boruto chapter 53 and don't know what's going on, what has actually happened with Kawaki and Naruto's fight against Ishiki, then I suggest for you to go watch that video right now before coming to this one. Now at the minute, everyone in the community is confused as hell right now.
I'm confused right now, G.
But don't worry, that's why I'm here, right? We're here to provide the possibilities on what the answer can be, since Kishimoto has to follow up the law and rules already established in the story so far by Okyo Kodachi. For a while, everyone believed that Kawaki will betray Konoha due to his ambitions, or Kawaki may be forced to fight Boruto due to Isshiki Otsutsuki taking over his body, and much more. However, by the end of this video, you will understand another path that Kawaki is doing this just for the sake of Naruto and his love for him. We will present all the evidence to all the theories that could still be the case for both of these paths. The big question is how? How does Kawaki have karma when no Otsutsuki is left to give it? Right now, we have come up with a few possibilities that would lead Kawaki being bestowed the karma once again. This is with your chakra that you have shared with us by smashing the like button, the notification bell, and you can call this pretty much balls deep prediction jutsu. Now, number one, Ishiki's spirit lingered on and he still gets the karma on Kawaki just like Momoshiki did with Boruto. Number two, there might be outside Otsutsuki that will make an appearance, as two panels that were damaged in chapter 35 could not be identified by Sasuke or the readers. Number three, the possibility of Hold or Amado having a backup of Isshiki Otsutsuki that forces Kawaki to become a vessel again, so that Ishiki will fulfill their wishes of all the core members that he mentioned in chapter 39. Number four, Momoshiki will split his karma by giving Kawaki his one too and guaranteeing his resurrection this way, and he may make a deal with the team for his resurrection in return for not killing them. And number five, maybe it's a combination of all of these things, or you know, Kishimoto says, oh my god, anime balls deep, you keep predicting too much and getting everything right. Let's switch the script on this bitch, and he creates something new out of nowhere.
Gotcha, bitch.
So let's cover number four, since it's the most popular in our community, and on my Twitter a lot of you gave me this response. A lot of you would argue that Momoshiki can split his karma into two and guarantee his resurrection by placing the seal on Kawaki as well. Momoshiki may make a deal with Naruto and Sasuke in return for not killing all of them, right? But the counter argument to that theory is that it would kinda not make any sense. This is because in the story so far, we were told Ishiki used science to bestow karma by finding a perfect vessel over a decade. Why would he go through the lengthy process of using scientific tools that Amado created to transfer the karma whilst he was in Jougan if he could use this so-called backup body to do so according to this theory that you're suggesting? Let's not forget the whole purpose of Ishiki using science to bestow a second karma, because it was indicated to us that Otsutsuki generally can only bestow one karma at a time. Ishiki bestowing his karma to Jougan took away his slot. Jougan was the only option for Ishiki at the time to live on, but Ishiki knew Jougan wasn't going to be a perfect karma, which pushed him to find a different means to bestow another one, which he later did with the help of Amado's science technology. Ishiki's initial plan was to sacrifice himself to the god tree to create a fruit and resurrect in Kawaki, but this plan changed after seeing Boruto have Momoshiki, thus planning to sacrifice Momoshiki to the Ten Tails instead, making the process much faster. Now Momoshiki may counter argue the plan, as he can see and view and feel everything that Boruto is whilst he is dormant, so he may say to the team, yo, I ain't gonna sacrifice myself, bitch Kawaki, you become the vessel and I'm gonna sacrifice you instead because I want to live and not go through the lengthy process that Ishiki was going to do. At the end of the day, way, we can come to the solid conclusion that Jougan was his first backup file and body, and not a first choice due to being imperfect and can't hold his full power. However, he was forced to resurrect by Kashin Koji in chapter 45, and as Amado stated, it was out of his control when he dies, and any karma that is completed 100% would automatically transfer Ishiki's data and be used as a primary resurrection point, which we saw with Jougan's body. Isshiki Otsutsuki came out, right? Now we can argue that Ishiki was using scientific tools to speed up the process of finding a perfect vessel, so the machines were helping him kill 10 to 15 children at a time until he found Kawaki. But overall, we cannot confirm anything for sure, because even Amado was stating in chapter 48 that the karma seal is just a backup file where it slowly extracts data over time through the vessel. So how would that make any sense if Ishiki told us himself that Boruto is only at 80% Otsutsufication? Momoshiki's complete data is not on Boruto to give to Kawaki in the first place, whilst Jougan was always at 100% for Ishiki to transfer everything, even scientifically if he wanted to. So even if Momoshiki took a scientific approach or the normal one, achieving a second karma also seems improbable. To further counter this theory, wouldn't karma seal marks be different patterns for different Otsutsuki? We were told in chapter 47 that Otsutsuki gained different DNA from eating chakra fruits. If Kawaki had Momoshiki's karma just like Boruto, then the karma pattern would be the same, right? We can prove this fact by Jougan, the vessel, having the exact same karma markings as Kawaki in the future and currently. For example, take a look at chapter 37. Kawaki became part Otsutsuki and looking exactly like Ishiki. Even in the future scene against Boruto, the exact same Ishiki pattern is on his arm and face yet again, just like it was on Jougan. So more than likely, future Kawaki is still going to be Ishiki's vessel, not Momoshiki's. But again, as we said, Kishimoto can decide to overwrite this analysis and say, fuck you, anime balls deep, and create a new rule of the Otsutsuki where we do not have knowledge of this yet, since we didn't know anything about them in the first place in original Naruto. So yeah, we can pretty much call this plot convenience.
Why did you say that name?
Okay, so let's move on to theory number 2 regarding Ishiki giving Kawaki karma just like Momoshiki did with Boruto Uzumaki, which when the Otsutsuki is killed and defeated, their spirit would linger on. Well, as we all have seen so far, Otsutsuki have clairvoyance powers, space-time ninjutsu, and can somewhat look into the future of someone's destiny, right? Momoshiki did this against Boruto and stopped time. However, Sasuke noticed something was wrong due to his Rinnegan. In Boruto Chapter 53, the current scenario showcases Sasuke losing his Rinnegan, so he may not see what may happen this time round, but that does beg the question of why he does not use Izanagi or, Izanami, since he has Itachi's eyes, right? I guess his writing problems, right? Fucking Sasuke's nuff, god damn it! Either way, some fans suggest that Ishiki can use the same process in this supposed realm to bestow the karma onto Kawaki once again if he wanted to. Momoshiki even stated in chapter 10 that those who kill an Otsutsuki cease to be ordinary. In both cases, with Momoshiki and Ishiki, Boruto and Kawaki respectively landed the killing blow. However, the counter argument to this idea is the fact that Boruto's pure eye was active during his time of Momoshiki's death, whilst Kawaki doesn't have this dojutsu. Boruto's pure eye in the anime has proven to us that he can go into different dimensions and into the psyche of another person. For example, with Garaga, the summoning snake that he had, he stopped time and interacted with him whilst everyone else didn't know what was going on. He could see his feelings and his past. Boruto doesn't have control of his pure eye, and in the anime it was active whilst killing Momoshiki. The Otsutsuki recognized the pure eye, and it's part of their clan as Boruto has inherited the strong genetics of the Otsutsuki. So this could be the real reason why Momoshiki was able to interact with Boruto even after his death. Hence, Kawaki will not have the same outcome. However, this reasoning is not confirmed, as in the manga, Boruto's pure eye wasn't active and the anime kinda retconned that scene. We know from Naruto's lore that those with Otsutsuki DNA, they have the ability to transcend death and have their souls linger on anyway. For example, immortal Kaguya who managed to live on after 1,000 years of being sealed, resurrecting later in Madara with Black Zetsu's help. And freaking hell, also half Otsutsuki like Hagoromo and Hamura, where their spirit was able to interact 1,000 years later after their bodily death. Hagoromo did this with Naruto and Sasuke, and Hamura did this with Hinata in the movie. Even Hagoromo's kids Indra and Astra also live on via reincarnation, which we still don't have an explanation to, but you guys should get the point at the end of the day. Regardless if Ishiki will linger on or not in his soul, why didn't Ishiki use his Ant-Man power to guarantee the transference even further in Boruto Chapter 53? Or, you know, I don't know, why didn't Isshiki Otsutsuki do this too? The only special treatment I see is because Momoshiki could have interacted with Boruto's pure eye. We will have to wait and see in Boruto Chapter 54. In any case, the Isshiki Otsutsuki part makes absolutely no sense in any way or form to defend it in accordance with the manga lore. Like, what is going on, mate? Like, he could have given the mark to Naruto, Sasuke, or Jiraiya. What?
That don't make no sense.
Okay, so let's move on to possibility number 3. But before I do, please, can you smash that like button and join the community by hitting the notification bell? I mean, you have to admit this, right? This is pretty deep, balls deep in fact, and it's fun. It would really mean a lot if you guys can let me know if you're still interested in our Boruto content by smashing the like button. And I want to give a shout out to all these people that have bought our merch recently. Right now it's on discount, and without your support, none of this would even be possible. If you want a shout out in the future, be sure to buy one of our merch and let us know, and thank you once again. So number 3 is regarding the other Otsutsuki that may exist. Yes, I think you might have to do a mind blow moment then, and I'll say yes, there may be more Otsutsuki that we don't know of. We have had constant foreshadowing from Urishiki's character in the anime and in the manga that other Otsutsuki exist that could end up invading Earth. Urishiki mentioned following rules that were given to him by higher rank members of Otsutsuki, such as when he sealed Tonori away instead of killing him on the moon. This is due to Urishiki stating that other clan members have not been happy with Tonori and what the branch family has been doing, as they have been witnessing and watching what has been happening on Earth the whole time. Otsutsuki clan members are not allowed to kill each other, therefore he obeys their orders and puts him in prison seal instead. Kinshiki also told us that he was in many battles and wars with other members of the clan that sacrificed their lives for him, just as he will do so for his master Momoshiki before transforming into a fruit for him to consume, and so on. Now in chapter 51 page 11, it is confirmed by Amado that Ishiki was a higher rank to Kaguya and possibly might have been the highest rank of all Otsutsuki that supposedly could have visited Earth. Like, even Momoshiki didn't want to deal with him, as in at the end of chapter 52, Momoshiki resurrected but did not reveal himself until Ishiki was defeated in chapter 53, which not only shows his distaste for him but also an authority structure that he would have to follow his orders. If Momoshiki was above him, he would reveal himself, putting Ishiki down for being trash, right? Also, back in chapter 35, in the Otsutsuki dimension Sasuke went to, we see the 2 panels that are completely busted and cannot be operated by Sasuke to see what these Otsutsuki look like or even their names. He easily sees Kinshiki, Kaguya, Momoshiki, and then Ishiki. Therefore, it could be a plot device for later on that new Otsutsuki will invade Earth after seeing what has happened and wanting to complete the chakra fruit themselves for the clan. After all, we all have to remember the Earth chakra fruit is the best of all and the most powerful due to how much life force energy is available in abundance. These new Otsutsuki would know Kawaki is a perfect vessel through Kara members or any data Ishiki could have left behind with the 10 tails, such as code or on the computer, or Otsutsuki scrolls just like Kaguya had. This could be another possibility of how Kawaki ends up with another Karma Seal, even though Ishiki has died. Okay, now moving on to the 4th possibility we came up with is that Kara will help bring Ishiki back. Like, we know that Code is still alive overseeing the 10 tails, and not much is known about his ability and what he's capable of. His nickname Code may be given to him as a metaphor, since Kishimoto loves to do that, and he will play a role to help write Ishiki's data code back on Kawaki. Code said in Boruto Chapter 34 that he is confident in taking on Naruto, Sasuke, and alludes to the fact that he is stronger than Delta. And later in chapter 45, Code communicates with Ishiki that he is dying of boredom through a transmission. So Code's involvement will more than likely come into play soon. Amado said in chapter 45 that they use Sasuke specifically to learn about these dimensions, as only ninjutsu can go to this place, not technology yet it seems. Otherwise he would have mentioned technology and not ninjutsu. So we have to wait and see what happens in Boruto chapter 54. Also, Kara is a secret organization, and it's not far-fetched to think that Ishiki might have the data aggregate of himself, like that was mentioned in chapter 43 regarding Kachin Koji, that Amado has his data aggregate and can recreate him in Konoha's labs. So a backup plan could have been made by Ishiki since he knew there was a spy within Kara anyway. We also cannot forget the experimental process of picking the second karma, as we witnessed in chapter 27 page 21. Ishiki literally was doing some sort of karma transfusion to the kids in plastic test tube bags. In page 27 of the same chapter, Amado stated that there are only 2 kids left, and then Ishiki proceeds with Kawaki, where we know he was a surviving success obtaining the karma. However, what happened to the second kid? Could he have had a potential delayed process where later with the help of Kara be used to bring back Ishiki? This Ishiki could later then make a pact with Kawaki to save Boruto against Momoshiki. Or even if they don't use this random second unknown kid we don't know shit about, Kara approaching Kawaki directly to infuse him with an artificial karma could happen with the right conditions. For example, in chapter 44, Amado mentions how he has Kachin Koji's data aggregate, and Amado also facilitated Delta's construction and all the Kara members' body modifications. Lastly, he was responsible in overseeing the karma transfusion experimentation process. With his knowledge, Ishiki being brought back is not too difficult. Also, a shout out to XNFP boy on Twitter who helped give us this theory of Ishiki's data aggregate still being intact and indicated that Amado may still also be convinced or forced to help bring Ishiki back. So if you guys want to share your bold, deep prediction and theories with us, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and even Twitch, where we do live reaction to chapters. This was an excellent point to make because Amado still has a supposed wish just like the others, and Code or someone can force his hand. Now, while we are on this topic, hopefully you got to the end of this video because this is the biggest thing that you need to know. So let me know you got to the end by typing Kawaki is a sexy Nah, I'm joking. Type anything about Kawaki, what you like about him most, and then that will let me know and I'll acknowledge you, heart your comment. But overall, the story is pretty clear on what will happen. We all can come to the conclusion that Kawaki will willingly choose or be forced to be Ishiki's vessel after Momoshiki's rampage in Boruto's body. Naruto and Sasuke are nerfed after their fight with Ishiki, since Sasuke lost his Rinnegan and Naruto used a nuclear reaction to use his raw chakra. This means Momoshiki being resurrected would definitely be the end of Earth more so than before, as they do not have the same amount of power. Momoshiki may end up making a deal with the boys to make sure his resurrection takes place and spare their lives. And with that, Naruto could end up being in critical care. So to save his life, Kawaki will seek the power of the karma and the Otsutsuki so no more harm can come to him. Throughout the series, the theme of Kawaki having a hole in his heart was pushed. In chapter 29 page 30, we were shown a flashback showing Ishiki psychologically dissecting Kawaki, informing him that his hole will only be fulfilled by being the role of a vessel. Later, we are shown a metaphor by Kodachi where Kawaki breaks Himawari's vase, which Kawaki tries to fix, but he cannot even after all his effort because the missing piece leaving a hole in this vase was just like his heart. In chapter 39, Kawaki tells Sarada that him and Ishiki are on the same wavelength and that he can somewhat understand what he means. This is even after Sarada said she is jealous of Boruto and everything he has, and that Naruto is the best of all people that treats the village as a family. So this is where he comes to this conclusion after self-reflecting. Not too long ago, even in chapter 50 page 11, Kawaki recalls his interactions with Ishiki in his dreams. Ishiki telling Kawaki that the karma is his special mark to fill his void. This constant thought process will affect his decisions later. Kawaki sees Naruto as someone that could fulfill his heart and said so in Boruto Chapter 53 that a world without him has no meaning to him. We don't think he is actually evil in the future, but rather he's clashing of ideologies with Boruto in how to save the world. All of this is full circle to Kawaki's life. Ishiki represented Kawaki's potential destined path of enslavement and worthlessness as an individual. However, when Naruto came into the picture, another path was paved for Kawaki, a path where Kawaki could be loved, respected, and valued for the person he is. Due to the massive suffering Kawaki had endured during his time in captivity, he developed signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, to the point where simply seeing dripping roots of plants brought him to a panic attack, as it reminded him of those test tube experiments done on him and the other kids. Everything pushed Kawaki to start loathing himself for what he has become over the years he spent with Kara. However, Naruto became his savior, not just from being taken away as a vessel, but a savior from himself falling into a lonely path. With just a glance, Naruto understood Kawaki and felt a sense of familiarity with him, feeling as though Kawaki was like himself during his early years of childhood. Naruto took the role to become Kawaki's father to prevent him from feeling what he once felt. This probably for the first time in his life made Kawaki feel love and recognition and self-worth, and ultimately gave him another direction to go in. So the reality is that being Ishiki's vessel is not because it's his only purpose. It isn't a fulfillment of this void in Kawaki's heart, rather it's his love for Naruto. But as this is a full circle of the cycle of life, for Kawaki to protect what he sees as the fulfillment to his void, he has to use the power of the karma to achieve his own wish, and that is the meaning of karma, by the way. If you translate it and look into the history and mythology, is to do with wishes, and that is to protect what is precious to him, and that's Naruto. Kawaki will possibly lead Kara. Once further knowledge of the other Otsutsuki is revealed and there's soon to come invasion or something along those lines, Kawaki will feel that the power of shinobi will fail to protect Earth and to take on a path of his own using the Otsutsuki power and science to defeat the coming invasion, and that's why he says the age of shinobi is over. Boruto will be on the opposite end, still believing in the shinobi way, but the rogue route Kawaki will take will bring an all-out war between him and the shinobi. And that's when we get the flashback in chapter 1, and Kawaki said he will send Boruto to where he sent Naruto, as he already accepted him as his brother and he doesn't really want to hurt Boruto, he just wants to save their lives. Rather, it's likely he sealed Naruto away where he can preserve him and no one else can go to. Kawaki will then go the extreme route to achieve his wish. Now that's the complete thoughts and analysis of Boruto Chapter 53, and now we have to wait and see if Kishimoto takes one of these theories or makes up some new bullshit, some anime bullshit science, some plot convenience here and there to create the story. I'm pretty tired and I hope you got to the end. Follow us on social media, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.